welcome to What We Watched with Scott and Toby. We're going to be talking Midnight Mass, Episode 5, Gospel. It's going to be some pretty spoiler-heavy talk, but if that's okay with you, continue on, and I'll see you on the other side. I always thought the synopsis was like, what would his life be if he didn't martyr himself as the Son of God? But I've got a feeling that's like the end. Like he's going to have a sort of fever dream on the cross. Because so far, as far as I know, it's just following the story. I think.
So he wakes up and it was all a dream. He's
kind of
to the cross.
Except then he has to wake up again and go, "Oh no, it wasn't. I'm on a cross."
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, to be honest.
Okay, it's like early Scorsese.
Right. Can you tell? Can you tell Scorsese? It's stylized.
Not really. No, it's quite a bit ham-fisted and it's not, I don't know. It doesn't feel the best. I guess I remember there's controversy about it because I think when he has his fever dream about what his life would have been like as a non-son of God, I think he sort of has sex and has children and gets on with life. So I think it's like you can't show Jesus having sex. So I think when it came out, there was like controversy. But by today's standards, I don't know. It's
When was it made?
Willem Dafoe playing Jesus. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
But I don't know. He's very clean.
Yeah. Fair shout. It's quite. So it must be quite old then.
Like third, fourth, fifth film or something.
Okay. Well, right. Christ.
I think it's 80s, maybe even late 70s. I'm not sure.
Wow. Damn.
And then if you sort of come back to his, because I guess he grew up in a Catholic church because he a few years ago did Oscar bait. Padre, can you hear me? What's you don't know what I'm talking about. What's the movie with Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield with the two priests in like Japan?
Oh gosh, no idea.
Yeah, that's Scorsese back to sort of religious.
Yeah, I've only really seen the big Scorsese films. I've never been one that's never gone out and seeked his back catalogue or anything. I just know him for gangster films. Isn't he a gangster person?
He did like
The Departed. He did that, didn't he?
Goodfellas and Casino and Departed.
I've seen all three of them.
I love Taxi Driver. I do think that is a great movie.
Seen that.
I do think Bringing Out the
that
Dead
was a great film.
Is like his sort of hidden masterpiece. I love Bringing Out the Dead.
Bringing Out the Dead is the Nicolas Cage ambulance one.
Driver, yeah.
That's very fever dreamish, isn't it?
I guess so. Yeah. It's pretty frantic. I love that movie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Starting it kind of. Where am I? What's going on? I've just been watching a lot of films, really. Just consuming films in between podcast episodes, waiting to get to the next episode of.
That's a lot of films because there's a lot of gap.
Yeah, so long that I've forgotten what half of my notes mean. Like on the first one, I put it down, it doesn't make any sense to me anymore. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I'm just going to read it out and hopefully you can decipher it and find something from it. Otherwise, we'll just move swiftly on to the next bullet point.
Episode 5, Revelations?
Episode 5, Gospel.
You keep sending me a text.
Yes, I do.
Every time you see it,
at the end of every episode,
going, "Oh my God," and then like a sort of shocked face.
Yes.
How do you feel the show is going now? You've seen episode 5. There's 2 left to go. A penultimate episode and the finale.
Yep.
You
I believe that is right. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or is there 3? I feel like it's 3.
7 episodes.
Is it 7? I thought it was 8. Ooh. Okay. Well, so let's say there's 2 episodes. Well, I knew that this episode 5 was supposed to be a twist-changing one that changes the trajectory of it. Because I read a Twitter thing from Stephen King a while back that said that it changed everything up, and it certainly did that. Quite dramatically, I thought.
Okay.
I don't think you can dispute that.
I guess.
Unless I don't see how you could, because it's monumental.
I mean, I want to believe it, but my point was, I feel like you get very excited about the last 3 minutes of the show, which is
you
what
can't not
sparks
get
your
excited
shocked
that
face
last
to me.
3 minutes.
But
well, every single ending I've written so far, oh shit, what the fuck, holy cow. And this one ends with fuck me. So
I feel like I know the show enough now to know someone's sitting down
of course.
and talking. Like some of my notes say,
we always I remember you saying in the last episode, I want them to do a lot more than talking. And then this episode basically started with them talking and continued with a lot of more talking.
Finished with them talking too.
But again, it still felt like the talking was really meaningful chat. It wasn't boring chat.
It's true.
It was very good. It covered a lot of ground and talked about some controversial topics and floats different perspectives on religion and things like that in an interesting way. And then it footnotes everything with a oh fuck moment.
I mean, when we got Erin talking to the sheriff, she's sort of putting in a missing note. She said, "What did you talk about?" And she starts talking about what they talked about. Oh my God, are you kidding me? We're talking about the conversations they've had.
It's quite funny.
It feels like a theatre play that got out of hand. Like I'm loving Bev. I feel like she has sort of come through as the funnest to watch and my favorite actress in this show. So I feel like she's good value for money. But I feel like how much more can Mike Flanagan have to say about the sort of virtues of good and evil in the God and misreading? Because we're 5 hours worth now, and we started these conversations. And you're right, when we're in the conversations, they're not particularly boring.
No.
But it's just made me very aware that this, like we said before, this chessboard of conversation taking us to the end. Right? Like
especially at the end of episode 5 for sure.
Like I've got
what
a feeling
will happen from here on out, I don't know.
The climax is going to be a conversation piece. Similar to this one, it's going to be like, I don't know, like Bev and the vampire dude and Monsignor Pruitt, like having this similar-ish conversation.
Can you? I honestly don't. I cannot see vampire dude sitting down and having a meaningful conversation.
But can you see the show kicking into gear and having action?
Well, only off the fact that I can imagine. Well, you see the Netflix saying, "Hey, do you want to finish watching this?" And the still that they show me is of people in a sort of normal poster stance, but with flaming buildings and shit in the background. I'm going to assume stuff kicks off in that sense. So yeah, I think a woman scorned is going to be the topic and thing going forward now. That she's going to extract revenge and
I think she's going to
turn what is a fractured community and take one half and turn them against.
I'm guessing she's got the nurse and the now young old lady and the sheriff are all would be on her side.
Yeah, I think his parents will be on his side or than her side.
Riley's parents. Ooh, I don't know. They seem very Kool-Aid drinking right now.
It's true. good. I like that. True Kool-Aid.
You want to take us through your notes?
So yeah, some of the things I liked. So the first one, and again, I think we'll put you unless you can remember the daughter reaction. I the daughter's reaction to something, but I didn't follow up on that. And then, but so we'll skip that point. But I thought what was nice was
basically her mum is sort of almost as old as her now, but like
I guess her reaction to her mum is possibly because it's there, and then they revisit it again with the whole town, which is one of my third bullet point. But the second bullet point was that I liked the fact that they followed up on the missing boy, the drug dealer.
Yes, finally.
There was a whole bit where she was like, he's been gone for 24 hours, 48 hours, so many hours. Why is nobody looking into this? Somebody needs to be looking into it. Just because he was a dropout. And I thought that was good.
Almost I thought a little social statement there.
I think it's nice that, because I think you mentioned it or we mentioned it in one of the previous ones, is that he disappeared and nobody's really done anything with it, actually. It was just a matter of time, and maybe the amount of time we're envisioning happening in the show isn't accurate to the amount of time that's passing. Because I don't know where you stand within the episodes.
Because it's such a small little community town, and there's no, unbeknownst to them, strangers around. If people do go missing, it's just kind of assumed they haven't seen them.
Yeah. Or they've just left for the mainland for a bit. So I don't know what you feel about how long 5 hours or 5 episodes is in duration of time.
I don't know.
On the island,
I guess I'm going to say about a week.
Because I think it's quite a short time.
Literally pick up the next moment from the last episode, but then we can go through 2 days and 2 nights per episode. Yeah,
and we've had several vigils, like Sunday masses.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So it might be like weeks. 1 episode a week. So we've got 5 weeks on the island now, maybe. But it doesn't, because
this episode was definitely set in less than 24 hours, right? If you're following Riley, I guess there was flashbacks.
Yeah, because he literally walks out.
There's always a bit of a flashback, but I guess a couple of weeks then. Yeah, you're right. I forgot the mass isn't necessarily every day.
So I thought there was a good pace. You were talking about slow pace in the last episode. I thought this one had quite a quick pace to it, but we've already sort of slightly touched on that in that we disagree.
It's like it's gone a bit Alan Ball. My worry is that we're sort of slipping into pretentious wank material.
Right.
Because it's just, I don't know. Yeah, this conversation was good, but we've more or less had it in some form. But now it's literally talking about the good and evil, whereas before I guess was more metaphorical. But I'm glad Riley's dead.
Are you?
Yeah, that guy needs to cheer up or shut up.
He was morose, wasn't he? He was morose.
And he had reason to be, don't get me wrong. But
totally did.
That's every time he was on, a little cheeky smile, but he did not bust it out much.
Yeah. But no, he didn't. He was very morose. He naturally is quite a dour actor as well. I've seen a few things with him in, and he is always. It never seems to crack that much of a smile.
He's not going to be in a Will Ferrell comedy anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Then the island's reaction to the mother, and the line, "What time to be alive?"
Oh yeah, I wrote that quote down. What a time to be alive. That was quite good. That really summed it up for the people who are going to follow the priest.
Yes, and believe in his. You said you're what is it? Overzealous wank material, or not material? I don't know. I think everything it's doing. I think it's not doing it with a heavy hand. For me, it's not anyway. I think maybe the fact that we're taking so long in between each episode doesn't help.
But can you see yourself binging this and being sad?
I could have done. I would have easily binged this because it's written and it almost unfolds like a Dan Brown book. At the end of every page, there's a reason to turn to the next page. At the end of every episode, there's a reason to watch the next episode. I've never gone through an episode and thought, I don't really need to watch the next episode. I'm not bothered.
But I feel like I'm enough episodes in to know that energy and excitement isn't going to pick up for 45 minutes until the end of the episode again.
So you start 15 minutes before the end, watch the last bit. Just have missed the chat. Let me see the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because his other shows had this same pace, I guess, but somehow it felt it was just 5 episodes in, it was delivering more. I don't want to sort of mess up your order of notes, but when Riley died,
no,
you
shock, carry on.
But were you sad for Riley?
Was
there heart? Has there been heartbreak?
I was relieved for him more than anything, because I thought he basically gone as far as he could. His guilt was too. He was too guilt-ridden by what he'd done in the past and how he couldn't forgive himself, even though the priest was telling him he could forgive himself and that he should forgive himself. And he's been given the chance to move on with his life. He wasn't able to. He didn't feel that it was right.
No, yeah, absolutely.
This, and again, it goes back to what I was saying last week, and how you can walk into a confession box, confess your sins, and be washed free of them.
Right.
Which is exactly what this episode was talking about in a less metaphorical way, like you're saying, and more deliberate and on the nose, if you want to put it that way. But it's exactly that. I don't feel like that it should be allowed, and you should be able to just go, well, I've said sorry to God. It's all over now. I don't have to feel any guilt for that. It's bullshit. You do something bad that sits morally against what you believe in, you should not repent, but feel that pain and carry that pain with you until a point where you can live with it and not just forget about it and move on comfortably. And not.
I would say, like, especially in these extreme, well, not extreme, but these big instances of people, like Riley caused the death of someone innocent and young. Like, I mean, I would say for the average person, like who was a believer, being forgiven by a priest or not, and being told, we watch documentaries and stuff where people have been forgiven by the family, but they still live a life of guilt, right? So it kind of comes down to, like, I think, like you were saying, you always hate gangster movies because, I'm blurring conversations, but like, like
that's right.
The Italian mob are sort of like very religious, but they do these things. So it's like, if you're like morally corrupt, I don't know, you can sort of get a technical get out, but it kind of comes down to like personal social integrity, right? Because like if you did something to hurt someone and it was super serious and they said they were sorry, but that person was in pain, you're not going to go, he forgave me, it's all right.
No.
You're going to know the consequences.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and what the priest was saying, very much so in there, when Riley was coming around from being bitten and getting used to being turned, which this episode, wasn't it? The majority of this episode was spent with them two talking about forgiveness.
I think that's a great bit where I guess the priest was saying he killed Joe and he feels no remorse, whereas Riley feels remorse. And he's like, how does that make you feel? He says, it just makes me disgusting. Like, but it wasn't that. He was just more jealous that he could basically do the same thing, even though his was actually an accident, and not be released of that.
And again, I thought I'd go back to one of my bullet points, and it kind of taps into this: the way that the mother, who was in love with Monsieur Pruitt, if I remember, before he was turned into this abomination, she sat in the sermon and listening to the words that were coming from his mouth and was repulsed by them.
She was flabbergasted, huh?
Yeah, and she was, she's not wanting to be a part of that anymore, never wanting to go there again. I think that, again, she's, if we can take the suicides to the fence, she's definitely on my side of the fence, and that you can't just forgive you.
She might be the key to unlocking Monsignor Pruitt's evilness, like the thing to sort of bring him back down to earth. Because one of Mike's notes was like, I quite like how unsinister he sort of is now, Monsignor Pruitt. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a bit frightening because of his conviction, but I believe he believes it.
Yeah,
but there's no sinister. Like Bev has an amount of sinister in this.
But she just, I don't think she's evil. I just think she fully believes that they have been given. I thinking about it, like the fact that she just shows signs of jealousy quite a bit.
I feel like she's very fire and brimstone, and she's sort of, if you're not a believer, you'll burn in hell, and takes a bit of glee from that. Whereas Monsignor Pruitt kind of is trying to be all about everyone and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, she is very much. Yeah, does have a sort of a darker edge to her. It's all or nothing. Here's your boat. So you were talking very heavily about the boat and getting in the boat, and it was going to end on the boat, and all of that sort of thing. And I was like, well, there you go. You were right in a sense. It's just come a shit ton earlier than you thought it was going to.
Yeah. I totally
yeah, that
get
was
it. Shock. Do you think he could have just stuck his arm out the window and let her see the sizzle? Because I was thinking after she was sort of left screaming through the credits, man, you asshole.
That was the oh fuck moment for me.
You could have done this another way.
That was brutal.
Could have left her on the shore.
But yeah, it wasn't about showing her. It was like he said, it wasn't. It's about not being able to get away, not being able to run from his decision. He forced himself into this decision because he knew it was the right thing.
I could have.
What a way to go!
I could have saved myself.
I
would have pushed her out the boat, flipped the boat, and just sort of hide under the boat. just saying, if he wanted to panic, you know.
Yeah, there was a way out, I guess.
And I guess he made peace with the lady he died. I guess that she's disappeared for a while, huh?
Yeah, what the flashback girl, the ghost on the wall, the jump scare girl, as we call it. Yeah, she does seem to have gone.
That his last words were heartbreaking. Him just saying, "I did my best." It was just heartbreaking. I don't, beautiful little moment.
Yeah,
and then to do that really cut, like him going in peace, making peace with himself, and whipped out of her hand and see the violently burning away with.
Bothered me totally. That did. I was rocked. That was my text message moment. There was just the brutality of that. The scream was great. What a scream! That was a proper heartfelt, blood curdling.
I'm not sure she's the right person to deal with everything that's coming. Get her off the island and let someone else deal with it, no?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because one of my notes is, I don't know what the show is doing or where it's going. And half of that is great, and half of that is like, come on, we're like wrapping this up in 2 eps. So half of it is like the shrug in the air.
But I think he's told most of what he wants to tell, I think, about blame, about guilt, about being washed free of your sins at a whim by religion and how wrong it is. He's covered a lot of thoughts, musings on religion in these 5 episodes. Now I think we're going to get to the crux of, we've got a woman scorned here, I said earlier on, and you're going to feel the wrath of, not only have they taken her child,
I guess she understands,
but they've taken the man that she loves. I've got Riley return with Monsieur. Oh, but that came in after, because we went out on the boat and then they kept flicking back between what he, the visit, the explanation meetings. This is where he was telling. Again, a massive long chat where they basically sat opposite each other again in a hall in the recreational centre, just chatting, which did make me laugh after your comments in the last episode. I was just like, oh, Scott's either going to love this or hate this.
I guess the end was sort of that scene was funny when he was just like, okay, that's it. He's like, huh? He's like, that's it. That's all I've got to say. You should get out of here.
Yeah, you can go.
What do you mean that's it?
Sun's gone down. I've got a job to do. Bev feeding freely Sturge. Yeah, just like, just saying, oh, drink the blood and all that.
Because it's good at showing like, I mean, this is extreme, and they're still finding quotes from the Bible to sort of rationalize everything. Is this in
brilliant
order?
Twist on scripture. Yeah, that's exactly what I.
This feels like I could pick up the Count of Monte Cristo, and just find a line or a paragraph to suit every situation. Right? It's just as long as the book's big enough. It's just finding words that are coherent and can metaphorically or loosely base a situation.
Then I think we've covered some of the other ones, like drinking the blood. That was just standard vampire fare. I think there wasn't anything really overtly challenging about that. It was just feeding and feeling better from it. But then it's obviously, like we mentioned earlier on in many of the other episodes that we talked about, how the blood of the angels feeding the island. And that's why everybody's
very vampire light, huh?
For
a vampire show.
Very much so. Yeah.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
his like like
Well, this
M.
is
Night
it.
Shyamalan
This is
style, trying to sort of like when he did what's it called, Unbreakable. Like, let's do a superhero film without superheroes and see how far we can get playing.
yeah. Well, I think that may be a misconception that it's a vampire thing. It's more a religious examination of religion, examination of religion through the medium of, or the MacGuffin of a vampire.
No one said
being
the V word.
Mistaken as an angel.
No one said the V word.
No.
If I was Riley, I would have been shouting that loads.
Rabbi!
But what about Dracula and all the vampire? Like,
don't you see? No, he's an angel.
My only other last note is that I sort of forget that they go back and have history, because it really doesn't feel like they have history. Monsignor Pruitt.
Monsieur Pruitt and him.
And Riley, yeah. It does make sense, but it's the one thing they haven't really explored that much. There was sort of not a throwaway line, but a short line about an experience of Riley's. He's like, how did you know that? And he's like, come on, I've known you all your life. And I thought that line, I've known you all your life, was super interesting, but didn't quite pick up anything.
You're right. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was part of confession again, wasn't it? I think basically Monsieur Pruitt was the priest of the island when he was a kid, basically the same age as what his brother is now in the show. And that's where the history, and then he left, obviously, for quite some time and came back. And then, fuck me, that ending, basically. I was just...
I did expect it to come now, I guess. I don't know. As soon as I saw him on the boat, I thought, okay, they're gonna.
Yeah, where did you think when he got on the boat?
They're gonna abort this scene, but come back to it in the finale.
Is that what you thought?
I thought like
they'd park it for like 2 episodes.
She'd find a way to believe him and be like, okay, this is true. We need you for the next 2 episodes. Stop being a selfish asshole. Because like I said, I thought he was gonna. Arguably, he did die to save her because he felt it was the only way to prove his point. But like he could have stuck his arm out the window during the daytime, like I said. But I guess he just wanted out, and I guess he didn't want to hurt anyone. He didn't want to hurt anyone else. That's the key thing, right? Like, didn't explicitly say it, but and this is stuff that was slightly. I mean, I guess they did explore it, but like they could have pushed more, like that he wasn't willing to hurt anyone for this because he already knows what it is to hurt someone. Which I guess they
having fed off that person, and I think part of it is he is not a strong person, and this was the last act of trying to take control of his life in a way that he's failed to do previously, to own up to his mistakes, to have the last say on the trajectory of, he's controlled by alcohol. He's controlled by religion at an early age, controlled by alcohol during middle-aged. Then he looked like he was going to be controlled by the blood of a vampire in the next phase of his life. And he's like, no, I don't want to be the person that's always being controlled by something or someone. I'm going to take my life and in the process prove to this other person who I hold very dear and close to me that what is happening on the island is completely wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm going to dump this in your lap. Go sort it out.
Yeah, that's the thing I can't quite get
here's
over.
The oar.
Like if he'd
so it's still very what's the word? Cowardice in a way.
Yeah,
completely.
And I'm not sure they were going for that. Do you think they were going for that?
Oh, I don't know. I think they were. I think it's very much the character of Riley to think he's doing the right thing, but in essence, he's still being a very cowardice.
Yeah. I've got a feeling we'll see him again. There's enough flashbacks. I don't know. In some
form. Yeah, we might get some flashbacks to early Erin and Riley, but I personally think it's now going to be a one-woman burn the shit down.
Because I guess they've got 2 sects to deal with, which is 2 episodes. They've got to deal with Monsignor Pruitt and Bev and the town, but they also have to deal with Vampire Dude. It's like the end of Game of Thrones. They've got to deal with the Iron Throne and the Walking Dead army. Will they stick the landing? Do you think 2 episodes is enough to get? Are you feeling like it's heading in a satisfying direction?
Yes, definitely. I think it's going to go. There will be lots more chat, but it will be chat about.
I think there'll be lots of chat.
I think someone's got to chat about trying to form 2 armies and sift out what is good and what is bad, what side of the fence do you fall on, and then the good side will take on the dark side. There'll be a big fire and shit will burn and people will fall.
Yeah, I think the whole island's going down. I think just maybe her and like the little brother, and you know what I mean, like that rowboat, however many people that rowboat.
Sheriff.
I think everyone else.
The
I think he's going to go out in a blaze of glory. He's going to do what I thought Riley was going to do.
Okay.
Because I was thinking,
do you think we're going to find out who killed the dog?
No, Toby. I think the dog suicided. No, I think the dog just saw some rats and ate them. I don't know. We might get a line, because like I said, I think at this stage, I think Monsignor Pruitt's going to do a 180 at the last minute. So he's going to go up against Bev, and then it's going to come out that Bev was kind of evil all along because she killed dogs. And,
I'll tell you what, if it turns out Bev killed the dog, I will be pissed off, because that dress, she was not wearing that dress, the one that flitted out of frame when the dog was being fed. That was not her dress. She did not do a costume change.
Poisoned the food, and then someone else, not knowing the food was poisoned, fed the dog.
No, because the it was like the whole. Didn't you see one?
No, I never went back to check. I mean, I also think be prepared to never find out. It seems like now with everything that's happened, it seems frustrating that someone goes, "Oh, by the way, do you know who killed that dog?" Like, huh? Just vampires exist. Babies are disappearing in utero. That guy just rode out onto a boat. Man, that boat looked cold, no?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, tell her to bring a hoodie. Man, he's a dick, that Riley. I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah. Even the person that owned the dog's dead, so nobody really cares anymore but me.
Maybe we'll get like a sort of the ghosts of all the people who've died helping at one point, and he'll be reunited with the dog. Yeah.
Let's Doctor Sleep.
I haven't read that. There better be a man and his dog ghost helping everyone. To be seen.
Yeah, 2 episodes to go.
You look fully invested.
No, I am very invested. I really enjoyed it. I thought it's been very good. It's touched on a lot of beliefs that I hold about the duality, the duplicity of religion. Both of those, duplicity and duality, I think, is the right ones. Yeah. So I'd be pleased to see it, which direction it takes. It'd be interesting to know how religious he is.
About Riley. I reckon she's got to tell people he died, and that involves sitting down on the sofa talking.
If you were to score this currently out of 10, where would you sit?
I mean, I'm basically checking out. I am enjoying it. I'm also like making the noise sort of at the end of every episode, despite the exciting ending. Because it's like,
why is that?
Do you ever like you know, when people say, "Oh, it could have been so much better with something," but it's like, I don't know. It takes a lot of effort, energy, and money to make a movie. I think everyone involved did the best they could, and it was just toss. It's like, I guess people's attitude sometimes is that the perfect movie was made, and then people came in and took away from it, and we left with a crap movie. Like they have this weird thing that the movie was good at some point, or you know what I mean? No, the movie was never good. It was not that this where this is, but like it, I don't know.
So you were saying you don't like it, you hate every minute of it.
I've just lost track of what my point was. I'm not going to lie. Stimulating listening, just dribbling on and not. No, because I'm not hating it, but I am just like, I don't know.
Get on with it.
It's, I guess so, yeah. Because that's 5 hours of mostly talk, and although the talk's good, I don't know, make it a radio play. Like it would have made a great theatre play. Some of these conversations, like condense it all down to a movie.
I don't think the 2 week, 3 week, 2 week, 1 week gestation periods have done it any favors. If we binge watched it, everything would be condensed, and you wouldn't just have these long chats. It would be one long chat or one long discussion about something with a fiery ending, but condensed into a short period of time, packaged up in sort of 5 hours, 7 hours.
Yes, sir, but I'm not
rather than 2 months. When did it come out? In September? We're now in November. So it's
But
been
if this
quite
had
a
come
while.
out in the 90s, we would have watched it one a week. Like binge watching is
Yeah,
fairly
even
new.
if
And
we watched it one a week,
I guess
which
so.
we'd finished it a month and a half ago.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure this was made to be binged though. Like I think a lot of people do binge stuff now because it's like, because of the quality of TV. It's like watching a movie, and you can, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think there are shows
if this was
which
a
are made for
movie,
binging.
yeah, completely, definitely. But I think this is made for binging, though. I think the fact that each ending ends with a "Whoa, I need to see what happens next" moment, that is binge TV.
But that's all TV, you know.
No, not necessarily.
I don't think any show ever got to the end and said, "We want to make a keep watching moment." No, let's do a don't watch it moment.
Sitcoms.
How I Met Your
Mother doesn't end. I haven't seen.
Okay,
I can't say there's an episode.
That's true. Comedies don't.
Friends,
sitcoms don't tend to finish in that sense.
The Bill. Those are shows that were.
It's true, weekly, but those are like episodical, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a whole.
So if this is what I'm saying. This is a binge watch.
It's like a 5-part or 7-part drama.
Hooks.
I don't want to get into the whole structure similar to our jump scare, non-jump scare. So I'm just going to say I'm not convinced this was made like not solely, but with like structured to binge watch. I do think there are cliffhangers to keep you interested, but
but I don't know whether that's necessarily a good thing. If you're having to put hooks at the end of every episode, if we were to end every episode before the hook, you probably wouldn't get as many repeat viewings. Hook at the beginning, loads of chat, end. Hook at the start of the next episode, loads of chat, end. Wouldn't work. You probably wouldn't get as many viewers.
I'm trying to think of examples. I feel like if you ever watched Mad Men, that feels like a really good show that is very quietly has a beginning, middle, and end that has almost no climax, but I don't know if that's an exception. I'm trying to think of stuff, but
yeah, I've only watched a few episodes of Mad Men. It was good though. Definitely something. I've been watching. So yeah, we'll park that then. That was episode 5.
Yes. Let us know what you thought of episode.
Yeah, where do you feel, viewers, listeners? Where are you on the fence with this series, Midnight Mass? Let us know in the comments. If you've got this far with us, let us know. Be interesting to hear some thoughts. And also, if you get the chance, you should go back and listen to our podcast on children, which is really blowing up at the moment. And it's hilariously funny. I've listened to them back a couple of times now, and they're really, really good. Genuinely very, very funny. So, yeah, if you haven't listened to those, give them a chance because they're very good. Like and subscribe. Bam, bam. Smash that like button. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah.
I was going to hum the theme tune, but I've forgotten it.